Good evening. On behalf of the League of Women Voters of Tarrant County, I would like to welcome you to this candidate forum for Saginaw City Council, places 1, 3, and 5. I am Mary Beth Garcia. The League of Women Voters is a nonpartisan organization which works to promote political responsibility through informed and active participation of all citizens in their government. The League of Women Voters does not support or oppose any political party or any candidate. Out of respect for everyone here this evening, we ask that all cell phones be silenced. Video or audio recording of this forum by the audience is not allowed. The City of Saginaw is recording this forum, and it will be posted in its entirety on the city website. Questions for the candidates may be written on cards available at the entrance. If you have a card, please raise your hand and someone will pick it up. Verbal questions from the audience will not be entertained, and we ask that the audience refrain from clapping until candidates have finished their closing statements. Tonight's event is a forum. It is not a debate, which means that candidates will be asked questions pertaining to policies and positions, and their answers will be confined to their positions. Candidates may not address questions or remarks to other candidates and must refrain from personal remarks about other candidates. Each candidate will be given 2 minutes for an opening statement, 1 minute to answer each question, and 3 minutes for a closing statement. The first candidate to answer a question will change each time. Our timekeeper this evening is Ann Stevenson. The timekeeper will signal with a yellow card 30 seconds before the allotted time is up, and with a red card when time is up. In fairness to all, we ask that these limits be respected. The unopposed candidate will be given 5 minutes to speak on policies and positions, but will not be able to answer any questions from the audience. The candidates for each place are seated in ballot order. At this time, I would like to introduce the candidates. For place 1, we have Paul Feligy and Pedro Pena. For place 3, we have Valerie Junkersfeld, who is unopposed. For place 5, we have Adele Torres and Sean Morrison. Candidate Junkersfeld will now have 5 minutes to address the audience.
Hello. Good evening. I'm Valerie Junkersfeld, and I'm on place 3 on the City Council. I would like to thank everyone that has supported me over the years. It's an honor for me to serve on the City Council. I also want to wish all you candidates good luck in this election, and I want to thank the citizens that get out and vote. When you get out and vote, you not only elect someone that you want to help make decisions that affect you, it also shows that you care for your community, and for that I say thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, each candidate will be given 2 minutes for an opening statement, and we will start with candidate Feligy.
Hi, my name is Paul Feligy. I've been a resident of Saginaw just shy of 25 years. I was elected to City Council, place 1 in 2022 and seeking re-election. I've been endorsed by the Tarrant County GOP. I was elected Mayor Pro Tem by the City Council in... I was elected Mayor Pro Tem by the City Council in 2024. I'm a liaison and I'm the directors for the North Tarrant Chamber of Commerce. I regularly attend the Tarrant County Mayor's Council's meetings. I've been a volunteer with the CERT team in Saginaw for 11 years and our Citizens Police Academy alumni group for the last 6 years. Some of the accomplishments I've had in 2022 when I first ran, there was a lot of concerns of traffic and safety. I brought forth the idea of the flock safety cameras, which was brought to the City Council through our workshops and since adopted, and it has helped reduce some of the crime in the city and helped arrest felons and has actually helped in some drug arrests. In addition to that, we did a salary study and we were able to increase the salary of our police department, and I can honestly say that next month our police department is going to be fully staffed for the first time in many years. And with that, we have more traffic enforcement, and the traffic enforcement is turning into drug arrests. So everything's working. In addition to that, last year I introduced the idea of having a traffic and safety advisory board, which was adopted and we now have in place for residents to voice concerns about any traffic and safety issues that we have. When it comes to zoning, when we did the neighborhood mixed-use zoning, our consultant came back and presented having 8 units per acre, or 12 units per acre, 10 feet apart. And when I made the motion to approve the new zoning, I changed it to 12 units per acre and 15 feet apart. Regularly drive through the city of Saginaw, and when I find stuff, I'll reach out to our public works director. Thank God it stopped buzzing. And report stuff so that it can get addressed. And basically, I'd like your support in the upcoming election, and I'd like to continue doing what I'm doing and doing more.
Okay, thank you. Candidate Pena?
Well, hi, I'm Pedro Pena. I lived here for about 6.5 years now. I moved here from Arizona, and for me, it was just a God-fearing thing. I moved down here because of my faith. I believe that God had called me here to Texas, so I'm just being as honest as I can with you guys. So I've been here for 6.5 years now, and the biggest thing I see in the community is just the infrastructure of the reason why I'm running is just I'm trying to help out the community and give the community a voice. And I can't do that without you guys or the community. So even if I'm elected, I still need your guys' help to kind of voice opinions, show up to city council meetings, and help make a change as well. I'm trying to think what else. I'm never really public speak. So I also run a nonprofit organization for young men. So what we do is we give them, we get them from I get nonprofit. I'm sorry, guys. What is it called? So what it is, I run a baseball organization, and what we do is we get kids who are underprivileged or don't have money to pay for things, and I get sponsorships for them. So, and we also adopt like the ball field over here, the softball field. So what we do is we just try to get them to be better young men, leaders in the community, not just, hey, you're going to be a good ball player, teach you some things, and that's all. We're trying to teach them lifelong lessons. So that way the community is going to be safer, because guess what? We're going to raise good men and women in this community, not just pumping kids out. And another thing is I'm a small business owner, so I do remodeling and things like that. So the apartment complexes that are going in, I do the cabinets and all those. And I'm not a big fan of them because it brings in too many people for our small town. So we need to kind of slow pause on that, fix our infrastructure, get everything running right, and then we can maybe bring in some other things. But that's just me being a citizen. I was just trying to voice my opinion and do what I can for the community.
Okay, thank you. Candidate Morrison?
Hi. I want to say thank you to the League of Women Voters as well for hosting this, and I also want to say thank you to all of you who are showing up. I'm Sean Morrison, and I've lived here since 2008. I graduated from Tarrant County College, and I volunteer a lot with the youth at our church and children. I do a program called Awana, and then I also do coaching at PYBSA, so I work a lot with youth. I've been married 16 years in June. I have 3 kids, and I am also a proud local business owner. I have multiple businesses. Before that, I was a manager at Lowe's, led over 100 employees. And then I was a lead trainer at a company called MTD Products before that. In Saginaw, I like to help citizens out a lot. I do a lot of yard work for free around the city. I do National Night Out events. I try to go to as many city events as I can. I go to 4th of July, Train & Grain, the Farmers Market. I'm very active in the city events. I go to city council meetings often. I've been to almost all of them this year. I'm very proud of that because I'm also very busy. So I try to make sure that I make the time to go to those because I feel like they're important. The reasons why I'm running against tax increases is my main goal. I want to do more engagement with local businesses because I feel like sometimes the local businesses do get left out. There's been events where we don't get emails to those things. So I would like to encourage more engagement with that. And more involvement with youth programs. I have a passion for youth, and I feel like that's something there's an opportunity for here in Saginaw. So I would like to represent you. I do issue surveys, and I try to get feedback from citizens, and I also will report those to the city when there's those issues. So thanks.
Okay, thank you. Candidate Torres?
Hi, first off, I'd like to thank the League of Women Voters tonight for hosting this event. I'd also like to thank all of you showing up here today to stay informed, and those of you later on going to be watching this video. I am a graduate from the University of Texas at San Antonio. I have a bachelor's degree in sociology with a background in statistical and research analysis. I have 20 years experience in early childhood education, and I'm currently an EMS ISD substitute teacher. Also, forgot, I'm Adele Torres. I'm running for City Council Place 5. I'm currently the Vice Chairman of the Parks Advisory Board. I'm also a member of the 2025 Bond Committee. Some of the things that I'm interested in focusing on are infrastructure, fixing our roads, making it safer for pedestrians and commuters. I'm also very interested in community engagement. I attend most of the city events. I love the farmers market, the concerts in the park. As a member of the Parks Board, we help to put together the Christmas parade, drone shows, 4th of July extravaganzas, all kinds of events like that. With community engagement, I think it's important to always take into account the pulse of the community. Everyone has a voice and everyone has an opinion. I would like to expand the reach by implementing more technologies to reach people. Direct text messaging so you can stay up to date with what's going on in the city. I would also like to open discussions on creating a board that its purpose is to specifically look for volunteering outreach within the community. Yes, vote Adele Torres, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now we're going to begin our questions. Each candidate is going to have 1 minute to respond. Okay, first question, candidate Falegi, you are going to answer first. The city of Saginaw has a rich history and a bright future. How would you move forward with growth and development without losing our hometown charm and heart?
Tough question. A lot of it is addressing the issues with the growth. Unfortunately, we're restricted with the state as far as with something, if something's zoned multifamily, we're kind of stuck with it. But trying to keep more green space as much as possible and just kind of work with the citizens and try and create more events and things to create more family atmosphere and get some more family activities and family oriented establishments within the city.
Okay, thank you. Okay, candidate Pena?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Sure. The city of Saginaw has a rich history and a bright future. How would you move forward with growth and development without losing our hometown charm and heart?
All right. So what I would like to see more of is more activities for the kids to do during, Christmas time, things like that. I think it kind of just falls at the wayside. We do a couple things that are for the kids, but I think that'll actually help bring the community out to want to do more things. And my biggest thing is, like I said, just stop building so much stuff when we don't need. I mean, we should be able to voice. They got to come to the city before they have to build something, so we should be able to voice an opinion. But the community has to come out and just say, hey, let's slow down on that. And I think that's the biggest thing is just being careful what we allow to be built in the community. I guess would be my biggest thing.
Okay, thank you. Candidate Morrison? So
one of the reasons why I moved to Saginaw was because I felt like it had a small town feel. I'm came from kind of over by Lake Worth, where Lake Country is, and when I was looking to buy a house, that's what I was looking for. So I want to keep that small town feel, and I think the best way for us to do that is to stay engaged with the community, specifically, again, the youth, and also the local businesses. I know that growth is inevitable. It's not something that we can really affect on a large scale, but on a small scale, we can say no to changing zoning from light industrial to multifamily. I'm not exactly for apartments. I think that's the wrong way to go. So I would like to continue to say no to those things. And then increasing, there's two different types of multifamily. I don't want to increase from one to the other. I want to stay as small as we can. And then encourage more fun spaces and fun activities for the youth. I would like to see more businesses like that come to Saginaw.
Okay, thank you. Candidate Torres?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Sure.
Hello?
Okay. The city of Saginaw has a rich history and a bright future. How would you move forward with growth and development without losing our hometown charm and heart?
I believe that Saginaw's growth potential lies in revitalizing and improving the things that we have. Making an investment into our future is going to help keep this community happy, healthy, and safe. There is room to bring in new business for what I like to call third places, places for entertainment, to go and hang out with family, to engage with the community. And by doing this smart and out-of-the-box thinking, we can bring in new business while still conserving our green spaces. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next question, Candidate Pena, you were going to answer first. What is meant by no new revenue tax rate? Are you in favor of Saginaw adopting this?
To be 100% honest, I have no idea, and I don't want to speak on something that I know nothing about, and I don't want to be dishonest in any way. But I am a small business owner. I own a commercial property, and I mean, I'm not sure if that's along those lines, but it's just skyrocketed, and it's just been, just because we built a new high school, now I have to suffer, or, because they want to build a big school, which I don't mind, I love it, but the problem is for small business, my taxes went through the roof, and it makes it hard to be in business when everything like that has to go up, so.
Okay, thank you. Candidate Morris? Morrison, sorry. Yeah.
Sorry, I thought I had a little bit more time to write notes. So as far as the no new revenue tax rate, I would have to look that up to know the exact definition. But what I'm more concerned about is the voter-approved tax rate and the tax rate that we currently have. The current tax rate is 0.493747 per $100, and the voter-approved tax rate is 0.481669 per $100. So I know that in order to pass things like bonds, to build more that are potentially proposed, they would have to go to the voters because they would have to increase that tax rate, and that's something that I'm against. So, but that's what I know.
Okay, thank you. Candidate Torres?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Sure. What is meant by no new revenue tax rate? Are you in favor of Saginaw adopting this?
I'm not too well versed in that subject. It is an excellent question, and it does pose some interest. I would speak with the experts within the community, city council members who have dealt with this issue, to ensure that I'm making the correct decision for all citizens. I also believe that it's extremely important to get community feedback when it comes to raising their taxes. And the way that we would do that would be through events, small town forums, bond meetings and commissions, to get a pulse of where everyone is standing. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Candidate Falegi?
Yes. So the no new tax revenue is basically holding the line of what the city would take this year and basically have the same income as the new year. The problem with that being is you have to give people raises. The cost of utilities is going up, and cost of equipment and everything's going up. So it's very difficult to do that without cutting city services. And we have to keep our public safety and everything going, so it's the fun stuff that ends up having to be cut first.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Candidate Morrison, you are going to be first for this question. What is your top priority for next year's budget?
So my top priority for next year's budget, I've looked at last year's budget and dug into it pretty well. There's very, very few places that we could cut, but I do see some contracted services that I feel like could be perhaps brought in-house. I feel like that there's opportunities for savings there, and if we can do those, I think there's other things that we could spend the money on. One of which is I would like to see more programs for the animal shelter to get the animals out of Saginaw so that we can actually adopt those on the road. And I know that we're going to need money to do that. So I just think that there's opportunities for savings there. So yeah, that's my plan.
Okay, thank you. Candidate Torres?
I believe that the top priority for next year's budget would be focusing on other streams of revenue and focusing on grant opportunities. There's a lot of free money out there, and we just need to find it. I know that the city has started putting together 501c organizations for different boards and commissions. I would like to see someone on staff where their priority is looking for grants that would help fund future projects.
Okay, thank you. Candidate Falegi?
I totally agree with what Sean said. I've gone through the budget process, the three-ring binder, 3 years in a row now. There is not a lot of stuff to cut out. I agree about the engineering services and the grants. That's something I've been pushing for a while. We do have someone on staff that one of their days of work is dedicated to grant writing, but I think we need more. And as far as outside services, I think we need to look at an outside engineering firm that does for the landscaping in parks, because they have a lot of resources available to them as far as grants and that type of stuff. And also some more focus on economic development. We need to take care of the businesses that we have and work with our people here, but we also need to get some businesses, because the additional property tax and sales tax revenue that those businesses generate will help keep our property taxes for the residents at a lower level.
Okay, thank you. Candidate Pena?
So one thing, like I would say, like amongst everybody else up here, is the grants, is getting more grants. And there's certain things that I could see, me being a resident, the drone show, it's cool, but I mean, $25,000, $30,000 I think is a little outrageous for 3 minutes. So, I mean, that's one thing that I think we can kind of cut out and move, do other things for the kids to have things to do. But as far as I would say get more local businesses, let them participate in bids, and let them help out their community. And there's a lot of, if we ask the community, these small businesses, there's a lot of these people that will donate money, will donate things, but they never get asked. Myself included, and I meet a lot of people that are like, hey, we would love to help the community, but we never get asked to, or there's nowhere for them to voice that, so.
Okay, thank you. Candidate Morrison? Oh, did you? I'm sorry. Okay, sorry. This is harder than it looks up here to keep track of stuff. Okay, next. Okay. Candidate Torres, how do you plan to involve residents in the decision-making process in Saginaw?
Well, community engagement is extremely important. I feel that we can reach more people if we increase our digital footprint. Currently, the city offers email updates. I believe that going to direct text messaging or push notifications would be a better way to engage citizens to get active, real-time information to your phone. I'd also like to try to promote interest in the Diversity and Inclusion Committee that was disbanded in 2023. We need more citizens to step up and get involved, and I believe the way to do that is through communications.
Okay, thank you. Candidate Falegi? Sure. It was, how do you plan to involve residents in the decision-making process in Saginaw?
Okay, we have boards and committees that are volunteer, and we're going to be reaching out to people to join those. That's a great way. I've also found with our food truck park, the farmers market, and other events that we have in the city has become a great networking thing. I've recently been at the food truck park, and people didn't know who I was, and I just listened, and people that didn't even live in our community were talking about what a great way to get together and communicate and talk to people. It's not a money maker, but it's a great way to get our people out and talk to each other and get to meet your neighbors, because I always joke, the only time you meet your neighbors is when the storm sirens go off and everybody's supposed to be seeking shelter, and everybody goes out and talks to each other.
Okay, thank you. Candidate Pena?
Can you repeat the question?
Sure. How do you plan to involve residents in the decision-making process in Saginaw?
So me being a resident, I have to go online and try to figure out, okay, what day was it, and try to figure out when they're having meetings. So I think having it posted, we got plenty of bulletin boards in here. I think emails, if those emails get sent out. If you go to the ballpark, I don't see anything out there. But just more places if it's put out there. And me, myself as a candidate, I would have open it up to you guys to figure out what we should do as far as, just post it more places. I would imagine, like she was saying, is get out there with the digital, so Facebook, and not just post it today. Just keep posting it so it sticks out there, and it'll get on more people's feeds and more people would see it. So.
Okay, thank you. Candidate Morrison?
So one of the companies that I had was a marketing company, and while that was short-lived, I learned a ton. And so I believe that the way that we would do better in that is by aligning all of those: text, email, social media blasts, website. I for one, don't get the emails, and I'm not sure why that is. I do get them, but I have to look for them. So there's something in the technology that's causing that to go to spam. So we need to actually dig into that and find out what's going on. Also, there's other ways we could do surveys online, and I know the surveys through the city, sometimes they just get posted on the website or shared on Facebook once, and then they don't ever get shared again. So that's kind of an issue. I'd like to see that repeated. Also, going to events, having a booth at the farmers market and other events around the city. Not just the farmers market, there's other events that happen too, HOA events and things like that. Reaching out to HOA captains, and also perhaps maybe having a meet the council where 1 or 2 council members get together once a quarter.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Candidate Falegi, this question is for you to answer first. What do you propose to do about the animal shelter that is nearing the end of its life, and how do you feel about the proposed cost estimate being $8.5 million?
So the cost estimate is actually $18.5 million.
Oh, sorry, 18. It was hard I couldn't tell if it was
So,
18 or 8 the way that was written.
I am in full agreement that we need an animal shelter. Do we need to spend $18.5 million? No. I researched this. We've hired another architect firm, Quorum. They built an animal shelter 2 years ago in Baytown. Baytown's population is 40,000 people, and they built a 12,066 square foot animal shelter. We were proposing a 17,000 square foot animal shelter, and it doesn't matter how big you make an animal shelter, it will be full. So we have to control that. We've got to control our costs. If we built a 17,000 square foot animal shelter, it'd be bigger than our police station.
Okay, thank you. Candidate Pena?
So yeah, I think $18 million, hey, that's a lot of money. That's way too much money. And I think that way that can be reduced. And I do think that there should be something like that. And what I would say is get the community involved. Let these small businesses help out their community where they live at. Not kind of, you got to let these small businesses also grow. So I have no idea why we're not reaching out to our own community. And we got people that are more than capable of building things. And we kind of just go with the biggest companies and, You know, they got this big, it's unacceptable to me, to be honest with you. I think that we need to just reach out within our own community, and that money's coming here, not someplace in Dallas or somebody in Austin, and the money that we worked hard for gets sent to these companies and gets sent somewhere else, so.
Okay, thank you. Candidate Morrison?
So I was at the city council meeting where quorum was brought up, and I'm glad that we are looking at having multiple bids for that. I think that's good. I also like that one of the city council members asked for a bare minimum needs met estimate, and then also kind of the more of what people would want. But my plan for the animal shelter really, I know we need one, but I feel like that for $18 million, there's a lot more that we could use that money. So I would like to find a way to utilize the space that we have and remodel it and try to save the taxpayers as much money as we can just for now. And then once we have some bonds that are paid off, we can look at having a bond. We have the buzz going again. So, but I feel like the estimate is high, and I feel like there's some reasons for that. But I just feel like I'm glad that we have giving other businesses opportunities to bid on that.
Okay, thank you. Candidate Torres?
Hi, I am definitely for a new animal shelter. I was on the bond committee and we did some research. We went to 3 separate facilities outside of the city to gauge their investment as well as speak to staff there to see what works and what doesn't work. Our current animal shelter is basically inoperable. It was a prefab building that was made specifically for military use. That company went out of business, so there's no warranty, there's no fixing it up. The deterioration is next level. So we are not in the space where we can renovate where we are currently. Also, the lot that it's on floods terribly, so we would need a different location as well. Oh, thank you. We went through the needs assessment that was done in 2023. We looked for places for efficiency, cost effectiveness, deterioration of materials. That's my time.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Candidate Pena, this question is for you first. What do you think is the biggest issue facing Saginaw? How would you mitigate this issue or change the situation?
Like I said before, I think the biggest issue is we're trying to grow too fast for what we are. Our biggest thing is our infrastructure. Our streets are horrible. I mean, we can't just keep adding, cold patch to it and running a car over it and thinking it's gonna, because as soon as a big semi runs right through it, he picks all that stuff up and it's a hole again. And we're spending our money on having to have city workers go and fill this pothole up, fill it up, fill it up, fill it up. So we're spending tons of money and not getting it done right. We got to get a company that can come in and fix the roads in a timely manner as well, not shut them down for months on end and work's not getting done at that time. So I think we just need to be more efficient with that on the infrastructure.
Okay, thank you. Candidate Morrison?
So I think the biggest issue right now, other than taxes, is going to be accountability. I feel like there's some issues that are currently going on with the city. So I just want to ask questions whenever I can. I want to find out why there are certain reasons why we're not getting multiple bids for projects, why city council members will go ahead and vote for those even though there wasn't multiple bids. Why we have contract services, just asking the questions, why are these things, so that we can get some answers. I was told that we couldn't live stream this because there was network issues here. It's been a year, so why haven't those network issues been resolved? It's been a year. Again, it's not necessarily that somebody's not doing their job, but it's asking the questions to find out what the root cause of the problem is so that we can get those resolved. That's what the citizens deserve.
Okay, thank you. Candidate Torres?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Sure. What do you think is the biggest issue facing Saginaw? How would you mitigate this issue or change the situation?
Right now, I feel like, I can't.
Yeah, we can, let's hold on a second. Speak quick before it comes back.
Okay, I think it's all about infrastructure. We need to focus on our infrastructure. The roads are crumbling. I know that industrial needs a complete redo. McElroy was also on the list for the bonds, but luckily the city was able to find funds in TERS to be able to fix McElroy from Spring Hollow, I believe, all the way down to Blue Mound. So that's going to help alleviate the costs of the proposed bonds. But we can't have citizens out on these roads afraid to drive, afraid to use, I'm off of Longhorn, so I use industrial, or used to use industrial as a cut through, and I can't do that anymore without risking my vehicle and my safety. So it's very important to keep the citizens of Saginaw's safety at the forefront of these sort of decisions, and for me, infrastructure, pedestrian safety as at the very top of that list.
Okay, thank you. Candidate Falegi?
Yes, I would love to be able to wave the magic wand and say no more growth. The problem is in Texas, landowners have rights. And if a piece of property is zoned for something particular, there's nothing really the city can do if everything complies. We do have issues with roads. We hired a company to do a geo something or other thing where they actually did road analysis of all our streets in Saginaw and prioritized what needs to be done. Industrial is number one. East McElroy is number two. And these things take time. We need to redo where the railroad tracks are and realign that intersection. But with the railroads, it takes 3 years just to get the permission and get everything going, and then having to order materials and stuff from them. So it sounds like it's really simple, but it is a difficult thing to work around.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Candidate Morrison, you will be first for this question. With the continued growth of the population and the slow progress on expanding roadways, are you in favor of commuter train access? If not, what ideas do you have to address road congestion during peak commuting times?
So I do know that that's an issue, talking to some of the citizens out there. So I do think that having some kind of public transportation would be a good thing. Where I came from originally in Alaska, I spent 11 years there when I was a teenager, and I took the public transportation. So when I moved here, I thought it was strange that we don't have a public transportation system that's very robust. So, having, especially for seniors, I'm really in favor for public transportation for seniors. I know we have 1 day a week. I would like to see that expanded to 5 days a week. I don't think that it's necessarily fair that there may be citizens that are stuck at home. So as far as the road improvements, I do know that there's been some issues with the detours around town, and I think that it's great that we have a system where citizens can submit their requests and that will get fixed. But I do think that maybe that we need to spread that out a little more so that people know about it.
Okay, thank you. Candidate Torres?
I believe having public transit is at the top of the list. Right now, the city partners with the Tarrant County Transportation Service to offer ride shares for our residents that are 65 plus in age or with disabilities. Now, this program currently only runs 1 day a week, that's on Mondays, and the fare is, I believe, $2.25 or $2.50 each one way. Now, as helpful as that is, it's not meeting the needs of our community. We need to support the rest of our community that doesn't fall into those parameters for transportation. Now, I looked into it, and the Federal Administration of Transportation, I believe, offers grants to help get projects like this off the ground. So we need to be utilizing grant programs to get something like that started here in Saginaw, because I know from the people that I've spoken to, there is definitely a need within the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Candidate Falegi?
Yes, I totally believe we need to start looking at a rail system. With all the growth that's going out towards Bonds Ranch and further north, all those people are going to have to commute to Fort Worth, and they're going to have to go through Saginaw. and there's just no way that our roads and infrastructure is going to be able to handle all that growth and traffic. And then, in addition, if it could connect in Fort Worth, where people, it runs great through North Richland Hills, and people can park and go all the way out to the airport without having to pay for parking, and we're stuck having to drive through all the traffic.
Okay, thank you. Candidate Pena?
So where I'm from in Arizona, they built in our community, they built a railroad system, and it actually hurt the community so much, because what happens is if you have one running from here to downtown, what's going to stop all the homeless people from getting on it, driving back over here on it, and what are we going to do with, we can't sit there and we can't kick them off, or now we get homeless encampments over here. We're just opening ourselves up to, I think, more of a headache. To be 100% honest, it's going to be, I've seen it in my own community in Arizona, and it destroyed the community, because everybody can just come in, and it's not, I don't think it's smart to do a railroad system. As far as for elderly people, I would like to see the statistics on it and see how many people actually use rideshare or the ride around here, just to see if it's even something that we keep going with, to expand it more and spending more money on it. That's more vehicles, more commute. There's a lot more involved with it than just getting more cars, I guess.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Candidate Torres, you will be the first to answer this question. How do you feel about the bond as presented? Which particular items do you agree with and do you not support?
Like I said earlier, I was on the bond committee. I'm very passionate about infrastructure as well as the animal shelter. These are two very top priorities that we need to address within our community, and the sooner we address them, the better. Unfortunately, we weren't able to have a discussion with City Council to go over all of the proposed issues. I believe there were 20 in total. We need to come up with a solution to prioritize those projects and get them out to a vote. These sorts of decisions can't be decided based on one small group's opinion. They need to be put out to the citizens so that we can get a fair pulse of where the community lies on their opinions on what to pass and what not to pass. And the best way to do that is through a bond election. Again, infrastructure is huge, and the animal shelter. Both of these need to be top priorities. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Candidate Falegi?
I am for bonds, but we need to get our costs in line first. Like a juror, I have this reasonable feeling of doubt. When I researched the animal shelter and found, like I gave the example of Baytown, it was 2 years ago, but they built an animal shelter for $6.8 million. Yes, we have inflation and materials have gone up. I researched the ballpark that they had proposed, a baseball field for William Houston Park. City of Fort Worth budgets $800,000 for a baseball diamond. The companies that I researched online ranged from $400 to $1.3 million, depending on the turf. The consultant that we used had a figure of $4.6 million in there for it. So we need to get the costs in line before we even bring it to the voters on what we're going to propose for bonds.
Thank you. Candidate Pena?
The biggest thing I stand for, like I said, it sounds like a broken record, is just infrastructure. That's my biggest thing that drives me nuts when I got to get up in the morning every day at 4 or 5 in the morning, and it's already, by 5 in the morning, I'm already hitting traffic. Before I can even get to there's traffic everywhere. We just need to, just fix these roads in a timely manner. I'm not sure if we need to hire more different companies, not just one company that tries to do all of Saginaw. If we have to hire 4 companies and they're in their designated areas so we can get it done quicker in a timely manner, I think that's what we need to do. That's, like I said, that's my biggest thing right now.
Thank you. Candidate Morrison?
So the bonds haven't been presented. They are on the city's website as far as what projects they want to be included in that, but the city council ultimately will decide what projects get on that. I agree that we need an animal shelter. I am not opposed necessarily to a bond for a new animal shelter, but I want to see pretty much nothing else on that, because I believe that we should try our best as far as the infrastructure to plan for those. We know that the roads are going to need to be improved, so I would like to see something like that. When I at our church, we have we actually helped create a escrow fund, which we call a capital expenditures fund, for those projects that we see coming up. It's a lot smaller budget, but the tool is the same. I feel like there's a way that we could do that in the city of Saginaw if we had to do a bond for that. I'm not opposed to it, but I want to make sure that we're keeping our costs down, and then we have a plan starting now for the future so that we don't have to go through this process again.
Okay, thank you. Okay. In the interest of time, I think we're going to start our closing statements. So we're going to go in reverse order. So Candidate Torres will go first, and you'll have 3 minutes.
Hello again. I'm Adele Torres. I'll open with my name this time. I am running for City Council Place 5. I'm for infrastructure upgrades. We can no longer go on with our roads in the condition that they're in. Now, we had several of them on the bond. We need to prioritize the ones that need the most attention first, as well as the animal shelter. My issues of focus are going to be the infrastructure, also making it safer for pedestrians and commuters. I know we've had a few instances with kids getting hit on scooters, things like that. We need to look into doing bike lanes or setting regulations for those on bicycles or on scooters, putting a certain amount of lights so that the drivers can see them as well. I believe in investing in our future, revitalizing the buildings and the infrastructure that we do have, and prioritizing the health and safety of our pedestrians and our citizens. Also, which is really important, is getting a gauge of how the citizens feel. I can't stress enough how important it is for community engagement and outreach to make sure that we're making the citizens happy with the decisions that we're making for the future. If you have any questions, I'm always open to talk. If you visit my Facebook page, Adele Torres for City Council Place 5, all my contact information is there. You can get more information on what I stand for as well. Please come out and vote. Again, thank you so much for being here today. Thank you to those at home that are going to be watching this later for staying engaged in your community and staying up to date on what's going on and what's happening. Again, I'm Adele Torres, and I'm looking forward to being your future City Council member. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Candidate Morrison?
Hi, Sean Morrison. I am running for City of Saginaw City Council, Place 5. I'm running against no bonds to increase taxes and more cohesive community with the businesses and with the youth. And I'm also running for the senior transportation being expanded. I feel like Saginaw has done some great things. It's part of the reason why I moved here. I feel I love the parks. I love the library. I love the school districts are great. The police and fire have always been great. Anytime we have issues, we can call the non-emergency number and they're there. So I'm really proud of that. I think it's a great thing. I do have some issues with the last bond election, which is part of the reason why I'm so against this one. I feel like the language on the ballot was intentionally vague. That's just my opinion, but that's how I feel, because they did not list specifically that it was going to be a roundabout put in at Knowles and McElroy, and a lot of the citizens that I hear are against that. So, and I'm particularly one of them. I do think that road safety is a concern. I've heard that in the community through having meetings with citizens, and so I do feel like that's important that we focus on that. There are signs that need to be put up in certain areas that where during those busy times traffic is being blocked. I know signs will help with that. There's speeding on Blue Ridge that seems to happen on a regular basis, so we need to have some kind of a way to deter that. I'm not for speed bumps, but there's got to be some kind of solution with radar signs or some different painting of the roadway. Again, no more multifamily. I don't want to change any of the zoning that's already in place, so we could try to reduce that as much as possible. No more apartments, and I do see some excessive regulations. I feel like there's some issues with carports in the city where citizens would like to have bigger carports, and there's a limit on that. So I would like to see less regulation on that. Also, the same thing with sheds. A lot of the lots here are large, and so once you fill a shed with a lawnmower and things like that, you're running out of space, so you're limited on the square footage. So I would like to reduce some of the regulations there. I'm active in the community. I do put out surveys. One of the surveys that I put out was for my constituents to say whether they were for or against the bonds. 42% of the survey recipients that I've received, responses I received, were saying not until 2027, and only 23% said May of 2026. I'm not afraid of making change. I'm not afraid of making a motion. I'm not afraid of involving or confronting other council members when I believe that they're wrong. So I feel like I'm the best to represent you for City Council Place 5.
Okay, thank you. Candidate Pena?
Well, I'm Pedro Pena, and like I said, I'm running for place 1. I mean, there's so many changes to make in the community, and I think transparency is what we need in the community and for city council. We just need transparency. There's so many questions that I have that kind of get swept under the rug. The ball field over here, it took a long time. I came to a lot of Parks and Rec meetings to try to just get it fixed. I put in emails saying that there's stuff broken, and it took a while, but after going through city, so I know that the Parks and Rec did their job. You know, they kind of brought it out, but involving the community is my biggest thing. Is I want to involve you guys. I mean, it's kind of sad, honestly, to say that there's this many people, and we got a lot of people in this community, and you guys are the ones that showed up, which is kind of sad. I don't know if maybe a lot of people are misinformed, and they don't know when meetings are and things like that. So I think that's one thing we need to make sure we're flooding our streets with, hey, you know, we got this going on, and involve the community more. Whether it's younger and older, we just need to involve the community. And you guys can go on. I have my personal Facebook on there. I mean, I'm just as transparent as I can be. Anybody needs to reach me, they can contact me, and I'll sit here the rest of the night if anybody has a question or anything like that. So, but just thank you guys, and thank you guys for coming on. God bless you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Candidate Falegi?
Yes, again, I'm Paul Falegi. I'm currently in place 1 and seeking re-election. I'm going to share something I heard. I was at a chamber luncheon here recently. In the city of Haltom City, if you've noticed, there's a lot of neat things and good things going on. And for a long time, Haltom City, there wasn't much happening. And they said that you have to invest in the city to get businesses to invest in coming to your city. And we need more businesses, we need more restaurants, and in order to get them there, we are going to have to invest some things. Our streets, if you follow Google Maps and you get on 820, they try to redirect you in the traffic down Industrial. Well, you're going to lose the front end of your car if you drive down Industrial right now. The animal shelter, I really think it's something we need to do. I think it's beyond repair, beyond renovating it. We don't have enough space. We need active yards. We need a better environment for people adopting animals. Right now, there's issues with spreading diseases. Fort Worth just had a big outbreak with stuff. It's people touching animals and then touching another one that's doing that. We need that. Ventilation is a big thing with animal shelters, and that's something why we need to really look at doing something new. And looking forward to seeing what this architect firm comes back with the list of options so that we can kind of pick and choose and figure out where we need to go. As far as businesses and things I'd like to see, yes, we've got all these multifamily areas that are zoned that way. Again, we can't tell them no. But if somebody else has another idea of something else to come in, I'd be for it if the density does not increase. I would love to see Saginaw get a hotel with a conference center in one of these multifamily places so that people have a place to go. If you have family come into town, there's not a hotel in Saginaw I would put a family member in. Maybe an in-law, but that'd be about it. So, roadways, the problem with it is we can't wait. If we wait, it's going to get more and more expensive to do these things. We've got to get these and get a pulse on it. And with the money we spent on this study, we've got to follow the recommendation, because if we did it, we just waste our money if we ignore that. So the crack sealing and things that we're doing on our roads now to prevent them from deteriorating is the things that we need to continue. See, a couple more notes here. more family-oriented businesses. We are working with a company right now on the fire station site, but we need more than that. You go to some of these other communities and they'll have a restaurant or establishment that has an outdoor area, and you see all these kids in their sports uniforms. They come after practice, after their games, and it's a real nice family atmosphere, and that's something Saginaw is lacking.
Okay, thank you very much. Please remember that early voting begins on Tuesday, April 22nd. You can check the county website at tarrantcounty.com/elections for early voting sites. Remember that Tarrant County has voting centers, which means that you may vote at any polling location. Election Day is Saturday, May 3rd. Please visit our website at vote411.org, which has information on the races and issues on your ballot for all elections. Candidates are given the opportunity to provide written answers to questions to give you, the constituents, valuable information so that you can cast an informed vote. Thank you to all who came out this evening to hear your candidates, and to you, the candidates, for your participation this evening. The candidates will be available to speak with you personally after we adjourn. Good evening, and thank you.